Have you ever thought about changing careers? Maybe trading in the suit and tie for a chef's apron, or swapping the office for an art studio. Frank Bourassa, an ordinary Canadian, did just that. Get to know the story of the man behind the most dangerously perfect counterfeit bills ever produced. Bourassa's career change wasn't as simple as trading a 9-to-5 job for a creative passion. No, Bourassa's change was much more audacious, much riskier, and undoubtedly much more illegal. Frank Bourassa, an ordinary man from Quebec, Canada, is a notorious figure in the world of financial crime. He is best known for counterfeiting over $250 million, a feat that catapulted him to infamy. Bourassa didn't start his life as a criminal. In fact, he was an entrepreneur, the owner of a brake factory. He was known for his work ethic and dedication to his craft. However, in 2004, Bourassa began to feel the effects of burnout. The constant stress and pressure of running his own business began to weigh on him. He was working long hours, often 7 days a week, to keep his business afloat. The pressure to maintain quality, meet deadlines, and keep customers satisfied was immense. Bourassa was exhausted, both physically and mentally. It was then that he made the difficult decision to sell his business. He realized he needed a change, something that would give him a new perspective and a fresh start. He longed for something more, something that would give him an excitement that his current work couldn't provide. Bourassa began to question his choices. He wondered if there was more to life than the constant work and stress that came with it. It was then that he had a daring idea, one that would change his life forever. He decided he would start printing counterfeit money, realizing that although it was a risky and illegal operation, it could be the way out he was looking for. He could finally escape the exhaustion of daily work and live life on his own terms. He began researching counterfeiting, learning everything he could about the process. He studied printing techniques, the necessary materials, and the laws surrounding counterfeiting. He set up an illicit printing operation on a secluded farm and started producing counterfeit US banknotes. Investing in state-of-the-art printers, specialized paper, and high-quality inks, Frank set up an operation that rivaled legitimate note production facilities. Every detail, from paper selection to printing technique, was meticulously planned and executed to ensure the perfection of his counterfeits. With a precision bordering on perfection, Frank managed to faithfully replicate the security features found in genuine notes, challenging even the most experienced experts. Watermarks, security threads, holograms, and microprinting, nothing escaped Frank's meticulous attention, as he dedicated tireless hours refining his techniques to achieve flawless results. As his operation expanded, Frank was not satisfied with producing just a few counterfeit notes. He sought volumes that would challenge any detection system, flooding the market with his deceptively authentic creations. His methods were so refined that his notes easily blended in with the genuine ones, leaving even security experts perplexed by his extraordinary skill. Bourassa's notes were a work of art in themselves. Every detail, from the texture of the paper to the ink used for printing, was carefully replicated to resemble real notes as closely as possible. Counterfeit detection experts, trained to identify even the smallest inconsistencies, often struggled to distinguish Bourassa's notes from the real ones. The notes were so convincing that many of them circulated for years without being detected. As meticulously counterfeited notes by Frank Bourassa entered circulation, a seismic impact was felt in the economy. What began as an underground operation quickly transformed into a tangible influence on financial markets, challenging the authenticity of commercial transactions and shaking confidence in established monetary systems. Frank's counterfeit notes were so skillfully produced that they seamlessly integrated into the stream of legitimate money, going unnoticed by many detection systems. The result was a silent yet devastating flood of counterfeit notes at all levels of the economy, from daily transactions to large commercial operations. The impact extended beyond the borders of Quebec, where Frank operated. His notes circulated throughout the country and even beyond international borders, infiltrating global markets and challenging the security of monetary systems worldwide. Confusion and distrust became widespread as consumers and merchants found themselves confronted with the possibility of accepting or receiving counterfeit notes without even realizing it. The authority of money, a fundamental pillar of economic stability, was undermined by Frank's relentless ability to create replicas that were nearly indistinguishable from genuine notes. The impact on the economy was profound and long-lasting. trust in monetary systems was shaken, leading to increased vigilance by authorities and a rise in security costs to protect against the threat of counterfeit notes. Trade suffered, consumers hesitated to trust the money in their wallets, and uncertainty hung over financial markets. Despite Frank Bourassa's meticulous efforts to avoid detection, his extraordinary counterfeiting saga eventually caught the attention of authorities, triggering one of the most complex and intense criminal investigations in history. After years of clandestine operation, the fleeting brilliance of his daring defiance finally caught the discerning eyes of the authorities tasked with maintaining order and financial security. The cat and mouse game, which had unfolded in the shadows for so long, now emerged into the light of public scrutiny. Law enforcement agencies and government agencies launched in tireless pursuit of Frank Bourassa, mobilizing significant resources and employing the most advanced investigative techniques. The net was closing in around the master counterfeiter as he struggled to maintain his freedom and continue his clandestine operation. However, despite his cunning and determination, Frank was finally apprehended by the hands of the law. His arrest was a devastating blow to the criminal community and to those who had been deceived by his counterfeit notes. The man who had become a living legend in the underworld of crime now faced the consequences of his actions. Frank Bourassa was tried and convicted for one of the largest counterfeiting operations in history. His sentence reflected the severity of his crimes, casting him into a world of confinement and punishment, far from the shadows where he once reigned as a master counterfeiter. Frank Bourassa's capture and conviction served as a powerful reminder of the perseverance of law enforcement and the fragility of criminal exploits. His story would continue to resonate as a warning to those who dared to challenge the foundations of order and justice. Even behind bars, the name of Frank Bourassa remains as a powerful shadow in the world of crime and beyond. His story is not just that of a man who defied the limits of the law, but also a fascinating tale that raises profound questions about ethics, crime, and the functioning of the criminal justice system. His determination to counterfeit money on a monumental scale raises questions about the limits of human ambition and to what extent we are willing to go to achieve our goals, even if it means breaking laws and harming others. Ultimately, Frank Bourassa's legacy is a somber reminder of the complexities and challenges of the world we live in. His story invites us to reflect not only on the boundaries of law and morality, but also on our own responsibility to confront these challenges and work towards building a fairer and safer world for all. Hit subscribe, drop a like, and stay tuned for more hidden histories exposed.